All righty, so welcome to the thyroid class. So glad you guys are here. So I'm going to start with a disclaimer. I was mentioning this to Brenda before everyone joined, but in South Carolina, naturopathy is actually illegal. So as a result, I have to display a disclaimer, and it basically says that you're here for education. You're not an agent of the government trying to set me up for teaching you illegal things. And, basically just you're here for education and personal use of your information. What you can expect from me in this class is that I cannot advise you to stop taking medications or stop following a care plan that your doctor has recommended to you. I will, however, give you a lot of questions so that you can have that conversation with your doctor. I will help you be informed and, again, help you through that navigation of your doctor conversations when it comes to your thyroid health. Everything that I recommend will be natural based. You can actually purchase vitamin supplements and those types of things through me. I'm now affiliated with several natural health care sources like that, including labs. And I'm going to share with you everything that I have learned. Okay, so that's my promise to you. Oh, no problem, Lynette. Okay, so ready to get started because this is a lot of fun. This is actually really cool. So a little bit about me. I know all of you know me, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. So in January, I went back to school. I swore I would never go back to school in my life because after I got through college, that was it. I was done. Okay. But I went back in January because this has been in my heart for a long time. And I finally found a program that aligned with where I am in my life and aligned with where I wanted to go finally. So I am pursuing a board certified naturopath doctor accreditation. In South Carolina, I will be called a certified traditional naturopath and holistic practitioner. Again, South Carolina has a very old law in the books. I think it's from the 40s that outlaws naturopathy. So I have to use a little alternate title. I am doing this because I believe after 30 years of working in health insurance, there are a lot of gaps in our healthcare system. And just through my own personal experience, I believe that we deserve better care. And that's really what's driven me to this point of learning how to do that. I do believe when you look at more than just what hurts on your body and you look at what it does to you emotionally and spiritually as well as physically, we can really improve our health. And all three of those have to work together to achieve long-term health in our lives. So that is the foundation of what I'm pursuing in school. And it is just one of the best things I've ever done. I should never, it has definitely taught me never to say never, because this has been a very rewarding journey, even up to this point. So as I learn information, I'm rolling it out as quickly as I learn it, because it's good stuff and a lot of people can benefit from it. And I really do, when I'm completed with this, want to be that person that people feel compelled to come to for help with their health. Because it's so powerful. And I can't even, I'm 4 months into this and I do 1 semester class in 1 month. It's super accelerated and it's intense. And I will be completed entirely with this in the first quarter of 2024. So it's quick. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to give you some lingo specific to this class, okay? And then we're going to talk about why thyroid is so misdiagnosed, because it is one of the number one misdiagnosed things in our healthcare today. And I'm also going to tell you why thyroid problems are so common. Then we're going to get into actual acupressure. And these are things that you can do yourself, on yourself. You can also do them to someone else, okay? And then I'm going to help you with some thyroid friendly food and supplements to help your thyroid thrive. And then I'll give you some extra tips and then answer any questions. Sound good?
Right. Sounds good.
All right. So, lingo in this class, natural health. Okay. It was our original medicine because we didn't have lab coats and, you know, pharmaceutical companies and hospitals and, you know, we didn't have all the things we have today for medicine. We had ourselves. We may have had a village shaman. We may have had a religious person, right? But we didn't have healthcare like we had it today. And natural health was all we knew. And it was actually the dominant medicine that we used here in America up until about the 1900s. And that's when the Rockefellers and Carnegies, there's actually a report called the Flexner Report. They gave a grant and went out and surveyed the healthcare system in America at that time. And it drastically changed the education system. It drastically changed the laws. And it changed for better or for worse and created what we have today for healthcare. Okay. Now, natural health still has existed through all of that. And the last couple of years, it has seen a huge resurgence because of the conflicting information around the vaccine and COVID and all of that. But even before then, there was a huge interest coming through because of the cost of healthcare, because of the concern people were having around quality of care, access to care, affordability. Okay, all of these things were, you know, all of us have multi-thousand-dollar health plans. And, you know, I think I mentioned to Brenda, my husband's getting ready to have heart surgery in a couple weeks. And I already looked at what the bill is going to be on that and I want to faint.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to take care of ourselves more proactively really lends to why natural health has persisted, because it works and it's reliable and it's affordable. So it does rely on non-invasive natural substances and therapies to allow the body to self-heal. That's what natural health means. Now, acupressure is from traditional Chinese medicine. It actually existed before acupuncture. And the very first acupuncture needles were made of stone because they didn't have these little fine needles that you know today to give you acupuncture. So they created them out of stone. And I just can't imagine anything more painful. Right? That would hurt. So acupuncture and acupressure are based on this belief that we have these energy lines running through our body. And you'll see on the little diagram, I'm going to move us out of the way here, that we have two sets of energy lines in our body. Okay, the red is our yang, the blue is our yin. So you guys hear the yin and yang all in the little symbol in the Chinese culture. So the blue actually points to our heart, and the red points to our head. And that's why you always hear the heart-head connection. That's where it comes from. And so this Chinese medicine belief is that these energy lines are what give us the vitality in our life. And when you get sick or you experience illness, it's because these energy lines have become blocked. Okay. Now, if you think about it in terms of if you get a headache, then that makes sense, right? Because the pain is associated with your head, right? Very dominantly in your head. And the lines in your body where these connect are also going to feel that reduced function in our lines, okay? And that's called your chi. When they become, your chi is your energy and it flows along these lines. So what I'm going to teach you tonight is going to be focused on the thyroid and making sure that our chi associated with the thyroid flows appropriately. And if you do these consistently, They will provide you some really needed support when it comes to your thyroid health. Okay. So that's the extent of the lingo. Everything else, but this is really important for you guys to know, because when I mention some of this, it'll make sense as we go through this class. Okay. So, common thyroid symptoms. There's a bunch, right? And those of you who have thyroid problems, you probably recognize a lot of these. Now, I have hypothyroidism. I've had it since my early 20s. And I can tell you several of these symptoms that I personally experience regularly. And even though I've been on medication for it, I still have these symptoms. The medication is intended to help your thyroid produce the appropriate hormones, but it does not relieve the symptoms. Okay. So you see, I put a little asterisk next to the struggling to lose weight and the unexplained weight gain. I put that there because sometimes we can be looking for that reason why we can't lose weight. And sometimes it's this, and sometimes it's not this. Okay. You could have anxiety because of your thyroid, but it could be because of 1,000 other reasons too, right? So just because you have these symptoms does not automatically mean your thyroid is experiencing challenges. But it is one of the reasons why doctors tend to not necessarily accurately diagnose thyroid problems, because these could be associated with so many other diagnoses out there. When you work with a natural health practitioner, one of the things that they do is really dig into the root cause. So if you came to me and said, Amy, I am just sweating nonstop. I wake up sweaty. I'm gaining weight and I don't know where the heck it's coming from. And I'm just really ticked off at the world all the time. That gives me some things to start triangulating where these problems may be coming from and helping you come to a root cause so that we can deal with that and not just cover up these symptoms. Okay, because a lot of diagnoses you get from your doctor are looking to resolve these symptoms. And that's why a lot of us end up on medications all our life, because we're just covering up the symptoms. And when we get other symptoms, we just add other medications on top and they become layered. Okay. Natural medicine tries to step back from that and look at the core and figure out what exactly is going on, why it's happening, and then look for solutions from that. Okay. Now, I know you guys probably know this, especially if you have hypo or hyperthyroidism, but I'm going to give you just a lowdown of what these mean. Hyper means your thyroid overproduces the T3, T4. Okay, it's off the charts. Hypo means it's below normal production. Okay, you can actually have both at different times in your life. And a good example of that is pregnancy. Okay, you can be hyperthyroid, become pregnant, and become hypothyroid. Okay, and even different events in our life can switch these from back and forth. So again, this is one of the reasons this is so misdiagnosed, because the symptoms are just all over the board, and at different points in time we can actually shift between these two spectrums. The only way to really know is through a lab test. But again, when you go to the doctor, they're only looking at your T3, T4. They're not running a full panel. And you have to specifically ask for a full panel, which will, and I inserted a little table down there to show you what a full panel contains. Because when you look at all of these factors, it gives you a much better diagnosis of hypo or hyper or something else than just looking at your T3 and T4 levels. Okay. Now, why this is, I'm going to give you just a very high level overview of how the thyroid works. The thyroid controls a lot of things in our body, from metabolism to our adrenal system, digestion, reproduction. It's just a very, task-heavy gland in our body. However, it just doesn't do this on its own. It gets its marching orders from our pituitary gland, who produces a hormone called TSH. That goes to our thyroid and says, hey, thyroid, start producing some T3 and T4 and get it out to this area of the body. Once the thyroid does that, it sends an alert back to the pituitary gland and says, okay, I did it, we're good. And it shuts off that TSH hormone. When the thyroid cannot interpret those messages or act on them because something is wrong with it, that's when we get this hypo and hyperthyroidism. Okay. And these things can go into more severe conditions like Graves' disease and Hashimoto's, and some very other significant conditions can result from this. So managing it at a hyper and hypo level is a good strategy for longer term management of our thyroid problems. Okay. Any questions before we get into the next part?
Nope.
Okay. So why thyroids happen? Why some, because this is, again, a lot of people have thyroid problems. It's very common, but there's actually a lot of root causes behind it. One is immune response. When we are constantly exposed to environmental things like toxic chemicals, metals, fluoride even, it puts our body into a reaction mode, and our immune system is constantly trying to fight back on these things going on around us. Over time, our body gets tired because that's nonstop, that's 24/7. So our immune spot is doing the best it can, but sometimes it has some weak points because of just the constant threat that it's under. We used to get iodine a lot from our diet, but many of you know our food system is just ridiculous with the amount of processed foods, synthetic ingredients, artificial this or that, and it's stripped away the iodine that we used to get directly from our diet. So we're iodine deficient. Medication can monkey with our thyroid, and that most commonly is associated with antibiotics, over the counters, and prescriptions. And then back to our diet, right? Again, the table salt, soy, plastic, even plastic containers that you store your food in, all of that can end up in our body, and our thyroid is becoming impacted from it. Stress is a big one. And a lot of the acupressure I'm going to show you tonight is associated with helping to reduce stress, because that is one of the number one ways most commonly people will present if they have thyroid problems, is that they're also pretty stressed out. Fluoride. And this one surprised me because all of our drinking water here in the United States has fluoride in it. Our toothpaste has fluoride in it. And I didn't realize this, but many water facilities increased fluoride during COVID. Fluoride is actually an enzyme poison, and it's one of the reasons why you can't swallow toothpaste, but it's, even though you're putting it in your mouth, you're still absorbing some of it. And that in turn can affect your thyroid. Radiation exposure. This is your cell phone towers, your cell phones, your microwaves, all of those things also have a direct impact to thyroid health. Tap water, I mentioned that, but the other thing with tap water is that the chemicals they use to make clean drinking water displaces iodine that's naturally in water. So there again, our food system. Pregnancy and menopause, smoking, and family history also have a direct reason for why thyroid problems are happening. Now, more often than not, it impacts us gals more than men, but men can have it too. And what they're finding is that children are developing more thyroid problems because of sedentary lifestyles and diet deficiencies. So it is definitely something to watch in your child as well. Okay. So I don't want to scare you, but I wanted you to kind of realize why this is happening. So what we can do about it, this is one of the natural techniques we can use to help with our thyroid, is this thing called acupressure. And these are some tips before I get into showing you how to do some of this. You want to take your time to find the point before you start pressing on it, because there's a lot of points along your body that are very, very close together. If we do a point on your arm, you want to do it on both arms or both ears or both sides of your face, again, to keep balance in the body. We're going to breathe in and out during the point of this pressure. So we'll breathe in when we release the pressure, and we'll breathe out when we press. Okay. So the act of breathing with the point will help release the chi that's blocked in those points. You want to make sure you drink a lot of water before and after you do these, because again, that's going to help flush out the toxins and where this chi is blocked. Please do not do so much force on these points that you bruise, tear, or hurt yourself or others. Okay. You're going to press pretty hard, but not enough to cause damage or pain. It should be a good pain. You can do this to someone. Let's get their permission before you do it. And then if you want, you can also use essential oils as you do this. I have found that using a citrus oil or tea tree or even eucalyptus, you want a more detoxifying oil as you do these, because it'll absorb into your skin and it'll help provide that release of that point that we're pressing. Okay. So you guys want to try one? Because let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Let's try one together. This one's called the Wanderer, and it's actually in our ear. We have this nerve that goes a lot through our abdominal section of our body, and it transmits signals to our adrenals, to our digestion, to our reproduction. It's a very long, winding nerve, and we can connect with it through our ear. Okay. And this is good for hypo or hyperthyroidism. But what you want to do is you take your index finger and you're going to put it in that first dot and the crease. Okay. And then you're going to take your middle finger and you want to extend it out a little bit. But you're going to press kind of gently in towards that second point, the lower point on the diagram. Then we're going to do this for about 3 breaths. So you're going to breathe in as you start to press and rub towards your ear. And then you release when you're done. Okay, and you do that 3 times. And then you want to do the other ear. Okay. So index finger goes in the top point. Your middle finger goes to the side, and then you breathe. And again, you want to put a decent amount of pressure, but not enough to, bruise your ear. Okay. Now the second part of this one is take your index fingers into your temples, right where your skull indents, and you're going to rub very small circles. And again, just breathe. Okay. And then you're going to cup your hands and you're going to put it over your face and mouth and just breathe for 3 good breaths. And that resets your wanderer nerve. Okay. It's very relaxing. This is a good one to do before bedtime. It's also a very good one to do after you eat. And what I have found is that it's also a good one to do when I'm at work and I'm in one of those meetings that I think everyone knows what one of those meetings is. But this is one that you can do pretty quickly during a meeting and no one even knows what you're doing. They just think you're stressed out in the meeting. Okay, so how was that for everyone? Good? Yeah? Easy?
Easy.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to show you 5 points for the hypothyroid. Okay. And again, these are all easy. I recommend doing them in a flow. So I would start with the wanderer because that's a nice, easy one to start with. And then do these next ones in sequence. So the first one we're going to do is called yin tang. Okay. This is called the third eye. You may have heard it referred to that. This one, you're going to use your index finger and you are going to tap. You don't have to time your breath too bad with this one, but right between your eyebrows, kind of even in the center, and you're going to tap for about 5 to 15 seconds. And then you're going to stop. And then you're going to do it again for a series of 3 times. Okay. Then you're going to do the Epeng 2. And these are inside your hairline, just above like where your hair starts on either side. And you can do these together even. And you again take your index finger and you want to press kind of hard. You should feel your skull kind of wiggle around a little bit and kind of do the circles. Or you can tap. Either one of these work. Okay. Rub your head doing that. And this is good again for bed because this is great for sleep and it's good for anxiety release and it helps stimulate that TSH because when you're hypothyroid, you often don't produce TSH from the pituitary gland. So your thyroid may not be getting that message that, hey, you got to fire up and do something there, bud. Okay. So this is a good one to try. And then the next one is actually, you're going to see a couple of these points a couple times because they're really work well in a flow. But this next one is called arm 3 miles, or the LI10 if you want the techie term. But I've preferred the arm 3 miles. And this is on your arm. Okay. And you see the indent that that guy's making on her arm. That's about how hard you're going to press. Now you see she's also got an acupuncture needle in her. That's another point we're going to do soon. But I like this diagram because when we do the next point, that's going to be important to remember where that needle is. Okay. So this deals with your large intestine. And remember I said you have to hydrate well before and after. Your large intestine is responsible for absorbing water and getting it out to the rest of your body or helping move along the things that you don't need. Okay, so we need this point to be well hydrated so it can do its business. Now you're going to take the outside of your arm. And if you want to measure about where that needle is on the diagram, it's about 2 fingers down from there. Okay. And you're going to take your index finger to that point and you're going to press. And this is one that we want to time with our breaths. So we're going to press in and release it when we let our finger go. And you're going to do that 2 more times, good amount of pressure. Okay, and you do have to do both arms. So just measure 2 fingers down from about that point on.
Amy, can you do them both at the same time?
You could.
Okay.
Yep, and press hard. Okay, and you can do these pretty quick, right? But I tend to find that I do them best at nighttime before bed to get the most benefit from them. Okay. And this one again helps. This is a good one during the day because a lot of times with hypo, you find fatigue. So this is a good one to use in the afternoons when you start to feel that crash. This is a good one to plug in. Okay, and then it also is a good one. It helps release the tension from the neck and the shoulders and all those good things. Okay, now we just did the L10. You'll see that on the screen. This one is called Pool at the Bend. That's where her needle was. And I combined it with the other one called the LI4. Okay, so this one, you're going to use your index finger right about where her needle was. And you're going to do the 3 breaths. Okay, and then you got to do the other arm. And you, like I said, you want to press pretty decent on this. Okay, now this next part of this, you're going to see this one again later on. So doing this one now is good. This one you can actually do with your thumb, and you want to get kind of underneath that knuckle, okay? And come in from your thumb, soft patting, and you're going to press pretty good, okay? And again, 3 breaths. Okay, and you see I'm kind of pushing the air out. That helps force the movement in that line, okay? You got to do the other arm. And again, it's right beneath that first knuckle. And just, you'll feel the bone, and it's just inside that. Okay. And that one's actually called Union Valley. And again, you're going to see that one here a little bit because it does a couple good things. Now, I prefer the press, the hard press, but if that is uncomfortable on that one, you can do the small circles. Okay, because some people, especially older folks, if they've got any arthritis in their hands, that may not feel good to have that pressure. So you can do the circle. Okay. All right. Now this one is called 3 yin intersection, and it's on your leg. And I can't demonstrate this one on camera, but again, you see the pressure she's putting on there, and she's using her thumb because this is a thick muscle we're going to go through. You want to go 3 fingers up from your ankle, and you want to press with your thumb. Those same breaths we were doing, push it out and do each leg. Okay. This one is good for your blood pressure. This is a really good one to do for that. And dizziness, because a lot of times with hypo, you end up with some vertigo sometimes. It's a good one for that too. Okay. Okay. Now this one is also on your leg, and it's called the recovery flow. So this one, again, about 3 fingers up from your ankle bone. And you want to do it more towards the inside of your leg. Okay. Kind of that fatty part where the Achilles stops and you go into the leg muscle right in between there. But it's more towards the back of the leg. Okay. You want to use your index finger on this one. And you want to do the circles. And you want to kind of press really hard. So if your index finger is not that strong, use your thumb. Okay, because you want to get some good pressure on this point. This one is good for low energy. And this one is actually really good for water retention. So anytime you're feeling that little extra water weight, hit this point. Okay. And I think this one is also really good. Though when I've tried it, it's actually really good when you get done working out as well. Okay. All right, so we're going to move into the hyperthyroidism. Now, all of these points, honestly, I have hypo, but I've done all of these points because they're just super relaxing. And I'm serious, if you do them in a flow, they're very soothing. Okay. So these are specific to hyper, but you'll see through some of the slides, like it helps with anxiety, insomnia. So a lot of the same things. So feel free to dabble in both of these because what might want to work over here would work on this one. Okay. And you're going to learn over time doing these, which points really work best for you. But you want to kind of try all of them until you learn how your body responds. So this one, kind of cool. Take your thumbs, tops of your ears, until your index fingers meet in the back of your head. And right where they meet is where this point is. Okay. And with your thumb, because that's your strong one and your skull's really thick, you want to be pressing on this in very small circles. And you may even feel like when I do this one, I feel my vision kind of vibrate a little. That's the kind of pressure you want to get. So you kind of feel your head vibrating, if you will. Okay. And you want to do with 3 breaths. Again, push that out. Okay. That kind of hard breath out to get that stuff out of there. Okay. That's called your brain's door. And that one is super good for headaches, by the way. Okay. All right. Now this one, it's called man's prognosis. And you'll see it's kind of mentioning the Adam's apple. Of course, us gals don't really deal with that. But it is on the side of the thyroid. Okay. And you'll feel your thyroid right in here. Okay. And you want to use your middle finger because you want a longer finger for this one. And you just want to rub that point. Okay. And, just a little gentle hug to the thyroid is what this one's called. And we just do one side of this one because we're more on the left side of our bodies where our thyroid is more functioning higher a lot of times with the thyroid. But what I've read is that if that one doesn't feel good, to try the other side because maybe yours is more heavy on the right. Okay. So that's a good one to play with to see which side your thyroid is more heavy on. This one is called inner pass. And this is actually good for motion sickness, not just thyroid problems. So I have my watch on. I'll do this wrist first. You want to do this on both arms, by the way. 3 fingers up from the very crease of your hand. And then you're going to take your thumb to that point and you're going to circle. Okay. And you'll kind of feel that vein kind of move around in your arm. Okay. This is really good for any kind of high stress, high anxiety, memory, and again, motion sickness. If you get car sick, pop this out. Okay. And again, this is a good one. No one knows what you're even doing. You just got a little itch on your wrist or something. So it's it's actually really relaxing. Okay. And then we do the spirit gate. So this one, particularly good for excessive sweating. And I've actually been toying this one myself with menopause hot flashes. Mm-hmm. And this is a good one, guys. This is a good one. So I'm gonna actually show you on this one. by your pinky, about where that lifeline comes down. And I'm showing you my index finger because it's smaller, but you want to get in that point right there in between the bone and the crease and rub it. Okay. Now this is your heart. This relates directly to your heart. Okay. So this is a nice, good one to use. And again, you want to do it on both hands, and it's down from the pinky, right in that crease between the vein and where that kind of lifeline comes in. Okay, right in between the bones and that big vein. Okay, it's kind of like hugging your heart. Okay. All right, Union Valley, we've already done this one, but this is a really cool diagram. So again, you come in underneath that first knuckle and just 3 circles. Lift the thumb. And you notice a lot of these deal with the excess sweating on the hypo. Okay. And like I said, I've been kind of playing with this one for the hot flashes too, and it helps. So, okay. And then beautiful bulge. I love this one. This one is a little bit tough to find. It's on the front of your leg. Okay. And it's right next to that smaller bone. And I encourage you to take your time to find the spot, because it's right next to the bone. It's not on it. And you want to, I prefer your thumb on this one because it's a strong finger to use. So you can get the right pressure into that spot. Okay. This one's for the spirit, and it's for helping clear out any phlegm. Okay. So I prefer on this one it's about 3.5, 4 fingers down from your kneecap, outside of the leg. And again, you just want to use the 3-breath cycle on this one to push out the stuff. Okay. So those are your acupressure points. You good?
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, they really do feel good. I've been playing with these since I learned them. I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I'd known this a long time ago. This is some cool stuff.
My husband fixed my camera. Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Yay! I think the cat got between my computer and the window, looking out front at the snow or something, because it snowed today in Buffalo. So
Oh my gosh.
that's why I was on off. It kept plugging in, plugging out.
No worries. No worries. It's raining here today, but you know what? I planted tomatoes this weekend. Oh, I got
We'll
that
keep
garden.
the snow up here for you.
Thank you.
That one felt really good. Wow.
Yeah, that is a nice spot. And I'm serious. I think if you guys take this and practice them, try it before bed, just make it part of your nighttime routine. It does really, really help. And our bodies recover at nighttime when we're sleeping. So doing this at nighttime before you go to bed helps that repair process, right? And it really hones in on that repair cycle we need for the thyroid. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go in now to some diet and supplementation for the thyroid, because unfortunately, there's no magic pill. So what we just went through is very, very helpful for mind, body, and spirit. Now I'm going to give you some other things to help that thyroid improve health. Okay. So the first is some thyroid friendly food. Guys, please get rid of that table salt. Please, please, please. That stuff's awful for you. It's awful for anyone. If you are a person who is typically more potassium deficient, you want to go with more of the Himalayan salts. If you're more of a magnesium deficient person, you want to go with more Celtic salt. Okay. And these are really easy to get in the grocery stores these days. They're not that expensive. I actually prefer the kind you have to grind, because you can get it a little fresher. But get either Himalayan or Celtic. And To know if you are potassium or magnesium deficient, listen to your body. And I can also do, if you're near me, I can do muscle response testing on you and we can find out. Or get with a natural health practitioner in your area and have them do it to find out. But usually women, we can do with either one of these and be fine. Let's get some fermented foods. Okay, pickles, olives, cabbage. Those are really good digestive enzymes for our bodies, and it helps develop that good flora in our gut, which in turn helps the digestion and helps improve that thyroid. Okay. Seaweed and kelp. Now you can actually buy kelp tablets for iodine. Okay, and the same thing, we can muscle response test to figure out if you're iodine deficient. And most of these work very well with hyper and hypothyroidism. Okay, just get a good quality one if you take it in supplement form. Brazil nuts, these are really good for thyroids. They've got a lot of good selenium that help convert the T3 into T4. Okay, so a lot of us, we can be T3 good, but it's not getting converted, which T4 is where our energy comes from. Okay, so we want to get those Brazil nuts and get that selenium in us. Maca, that's another good iodine one. Apples, pears, and fruit. Just eat your fruit. Just eat good quality fruit. Okay, that's cheap stuff most of the time. Pumpkin seeds, particularly for women who are suffering infertility, get the good zinc. Okay, beans. We got to quit being afraid of carbs, ladies. Beans are good for you. Okay, we got good insoluble fiber, good for that thyroid. Again, salmon and oysters is the zinc. Greek yogurt, vitamin D. Most of us are going to be deficient in vitamin D year round. Particularly in winter, especially because we're not getting outside, but a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D all year. Eggs have incredible benefits: selenium, zinc, iodine, iron, vitamin D. Berries are excellent for inflammation. Your veggies, broccoli and cabbage, they actually help iodine absorb, especially if you're taking an iodine supplement. You want to make sure you get the good veggies in you to help absorb it. And then coconut oil. Oh my gosh. This is like the miracle oil right here. Okay. Blood pressure, memory, cognitive support. It's good for blood pressure. Coconut oil is the oil of the kitchen. Okay. And then supplements. If you supplement, you want a good high bioavailable, means it absorbs good in your body. It just doesn't go in one end and out the other. You, however, cannot supplement for a poor diet. You have to do the diet first, and then, add in supplements where the diet isn't efficient in some of these things. If you take vitamin D, I highly recommend you get a calcium with it, because the two work hand in hand. Because if you overdo the vitamin D, what it does is then it tries to take calcium from your bones, because the two have to be in balance. Okay, so I've learned, if you take D, you take calcium, keep them level. Okay, magnesium is excellent, good metabolism support there. Vitamin A, your large intestine produces vitamin A, but if you find that you're easily constipated or you retain water, try boosting the vitamin A. Okay, vitamin D, we talked about that one. Selenium, zinc, your B12s, and your kelp. Now, the ashwagandha, multivitamin, digestive enzymes, and probiotics, these are good just foundationally, right? If you don't like ashwagandha, you can do the robolia or holy basil. Okay, these are really just good for stress and anxiety, and especially if you're dealing with thyroid problems. we've got to get serious about the stress. Okay, we've really got to get a handle on the stress. The multivitamin, again, food system is terribly broken. So good multivitamin is just baseline for that. Digestive enzymes help you break down the food, and they help that digestive system absorb the nutrients from it. And then your probiotics help with the bacteria that we need in the gut to help not make it, keep it in check, right? Keep it, the acid and the alkaline together where they need to be. Okay. And then if you're looking for essential oils, these are specific to thyroid health. So all around, turmeric is great, whether you supplement that with that or use a oil. Thyme, lemongrass, those are good staples to have in the kitchen. Frankincense is good for nighttime. If you know, honestly, that's another good one if you're looking for something for helping with sleep. And then this DDR prime is a doTERRA proprietary one, but it has the frankincense in it. And then depending on if you're hypo or hyper, I listed some oils there specific for those. Okay. Now the oils aren't mandatory, but they're just they're a different type of supplement. Some people prefer those over taking all the pills. But if you get a really good high quality oil, you can also supplement with them through a capsule. Okay. All right. Now for extra help, I threw in some extra tips. There's actually really 6 things that we're talking about here. The first is please push your doctor. And if they won't do it, I will, because I have lab access now. I can get it for you. Get a full panel test on your thyroid. Know your numbers. Okay. And monitor these numbers. If you take medications for thyroid, and a lot of us will take Synthroid, you want to avoid just masking the symptoms with the medication. Okay. Really understand the numbers, and you can apply a lot of these natural techniques around it to help manage a lot of these symptoms. There are actually 22 known reasons why your thyroid will malfunction, and only 3 of them require medication. But yet Synthroid is one of the most prescribed medications out there. Okay, so knowing your numbers gives you that power to have that conversation with the doctor to understand why you need to take certain medications and what dosage is right for you. Number 2, stress. We got to get serious about dealing with the stress, because the more we put our body in that fight or flight mode, the more our thyroid is going to overproduce or underproduce or malfunction, because it's directly connected to the adrenals. I have been using this app called Insight Timer. I don't know if you guys know what this is. It's a free app. It is phenomenal. There's all kinds of things out there. There's a couple meditation ones that to help you go to sleep. There's one I use it a lot for studying in school right now, because they've got frequency music that's dedicated to helping you concentrate. And I realized that I'm no longer 20, so retaining information is really hard. So this app actually helps. They also have like the singing bowls and things like that. It's just a super cool app. Download it, it's free.
What's it called again, Amy? I'm sorry.
Yep, it's called Insight Timer.
Insight Timer.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you guys get on it, let me know. I'll send you a couple of the really good ones that I found. That I found one. It's hypnosis for weight loss.
Hey,
And I put on my headphones, and it's pretty darn incredible. Okay.
Okay.
Diet, nutritional support are really good for helping with stress. Okay. But our thyroids are really struggling under the pressure that we call adulting. Okay. Number 3, if you address your immunity, digestion, and adrenal health, you're going to hit a home run with your thyroid. If you start with your digestion, all the other things usually fall in place too. It's just a hint. So if you prioritize your diet and your digestive health, a lot of these other problems go away on their own. Okay. If you get sugar and salt cravings, those are actually indications from your body that something's not, it's wanting something, and it's usually not sugar or salt. Okay. And so these are messages to cue into what's happening emotionally. And they are usually really good flags to tell you it's time to do those acupressure points we just went through. Okay. Water. Drink your water, ladies. Aim for about half your body weight in daily water. And I know that sounds like a crazy amount of water, but that truly is the true benchmark of how much water we need every day. And we want to get away from these plastics and lower quality waters and try to get into more filtered, even osmosis water, for a better water that tastes good and is doing something good in our body. Okay.
Amy, what's your thought on like the water delivery, you know, the big jugs? That
Oh, the
kind
big plastic things.
yeah.
You know, it's great water if they would get it out of plastic,
I know.
right? I mean,
I
gosh,
can't see myself hoisting up a big glass one either.
right? I know. But it's good water if they would get it out of that.
I know. It's so hard.
And yeah, but everything I've read, the ratings on it are good. But unless you're going through it really quickly, right? That water is absorbing that plastic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we just use
So-
our filtered water through our refrigerator right now.
Yep. We've got that. And then my husband had put in a special faucet on the kitchen sink that's filtered.
Oh,
And that's pretty good too. I know a lot of people are buying those metal osmosis.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, and I haven't checked those out, but I know also you can install an osmosis system in your house.
Okay.
But yeah, just those plastics are what's killing it.
I know. It's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because you have to stop saying, oh, but it's convenient. And then you have to say no, but it's messing
Yeah.
up your hormones and causing other problems.
Unfortunately, yes. And like I said, I was shocked to hear that they were increasing freaking fluoride, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, why?
Yes.
But yeah, I know you think you're doing good drinking the water and then this other stuff, right? So
Well, especially with traveling, it's like, I know other places like airports and stuff have places where you can take
Refill.
your metal
Yep.
thing and refill it. Thank goodness, you know, but
yeah, exactly. So yeah, everything I'm reading is it's the plastic that's not so good. For food and water, this is super important for thyroid health. Chloride, fluoride, and bromine. You've got to avoid these three things because it depletes the iodine, and we're already iodine deficient when we have thyroid problems. And glyphosate, this was another shocker, is actually what they use to make weed killer. And lo and behold, it is what they use on dental floss. Yes. I don't know why. But
No.
it is also sprayed on a lot of fruits, which is why you should wash your fruit when you buy it. And buy a natural dental floss. Okay. I actually have an appointment with my dentist and I plan on telling him this because this is the problem.
yeah, that's gross.
That's gross, right? So we have to intentionally, like we were just saying, we got to get away from the convenience and look at what the chemical stuff is doing to us. But this is an easy one to fix. Okay. And then Synthroid. I personally still take the Synthroid, but I have found there's this medication called Armor Thyroid. It is prescription, and it does the T3 and T4. Synthroid only does T3. So if you have to take a medication, ask about this Armor Thyroid. Okay. Everything I can tell, pricing is about the same as Synthroid, but it has the T3 and T4 in it. And then work with your doctor to get on the lowest possible dosage of any medication you're taking for your thyroid. Because all of these medications over time, what's happening is it's doing the work for your thyroid. So your thyroid's like, yeah, I can just sit back here with my feet up, right? And it's not healing. Long term, that can introduce some other health problems like cholesterol problems, blood pressure problems, circulation problems. The fine print on the prescriptions tells you these long-term problems. And your doctor will say, well, yeah, but those are real minimal and this, that, and the other. Okay, well, there's still risk. Okay. And then work through the acupressure that we learned tonight. Nutrition and lifestyle will super, super help you. Okay. And it will support you getting off of these onto these lower dosage, if not off it completely.
Nice.
Yep. All right. So here's how to get some more help. I am now affiliated with several brands. There's more coming, but if you need supplements, I have several brands at my disposal. I also can order blood and urinalysis now. And in fact, I have a link. You guys can go and do your own lab stuff for several kind of tests, not just thyroid. And the results will go to you, to your doctor. They can come to me or any other natural health practitioner you choose. But I was looking at this myself because we can go to like a Quest lab through this, and significantly less than what I paid to go to the doctor and have him draw blood. So if you're looking for labs, right now I do have $50 off the thyroid panel. If you're looking for supplements or detoxing products, I have more coming, but this is what I have so far. And of course, good doTERRA stuff and muscle response testing. I can walk you through all that. So there's lots of things coming, but I'm pretty excited about this already.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then I am starting to offer some services. Again, just what I know at the time I'm offering, and I'm adding more as soon as I learn it. So I can do right now cravings. We can just decode your cravings. I can help you with vitamin testing. You see the thyroid class. This is going to be a recurring one that I offer. Decoding your lab results. I can do that now for you. And pretty soon I'm going to be doing the acupressure and reflexology. So it's all coming. It's all coming. And so much more. So if you are looking for a natural health practitioner, a lot of the services I can do online, and then obviously some have to be done in person, unfortunately, but I'm happy to get any support I can to you and help you feel your best. If you found this class helpful, I would really appreciate your feedback and help spread the word. I am planning to offer it again tentatively May 16th. I think I mentioned my husband's getting ready to have surgery, so I may need to change the date. I'm hoping not by then, but I'm going to offer the class again in May. If you know someone who would benefit from the information, please let them know I'm going to do it.
I was going to ask you if I can hire you to teach it to my people.
Absolutely. Be happy to. Be happy to.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's super easy, right? I mean, it's not painful and it's kind of fun to poke around your body, right?
It is. There's so many people that haven't taken the first step to helping themselves.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds, I know you can understand that. So having them do something on themselves that they can do on themselves.
Yes.
And having them feel the difference is amazing. And, you know, it might put them in a better place to help themselves, I guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I tried it myself because I had never done anything like this before. And I'm like, well, gosh, I really do feel more relaxed. Right.
That leg one, I haven't been on my Peloton for a couple months because I've been caring back and forth for my mom who had a couple strokes. So I have not been taking care of myself. I'm starting to take care of myself again. So I had a ride on the bike today and it was awesome. I felt great. But when I did that on my legs, it was just like,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
These
going to sit here and do this tonight. My husband's like, what are you doing? Like, leave me alone.
I'm rubbing my beautiful bulge. Leave me alone. So, and that is, I mean, you guys will find the points that really work best for you, right? And do those. But until you learn which ones are your body really responds to, do them all and do them in a nice flow, right? Develop that nice routine to it. And
Yeah.
you will see changes from it. You'll feel different from it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so please send me some feedback if this class was good to you. And if you have others, or Lynette, I'm having to talk to you about teaching a group class.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep. And I'm going to be rolling out more topics. This was just the first one that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell people about this because this is good stuff.
There's a reason
So-
we worked that desk together in Salt Lake City.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. And if you guys are looking to get a hold of me, this is what I got going on. You can book services with me with what I have available. I do have a 15% discount on all of them right now. If you need thyroid tests, there's a link there, 50% off with the code. You can email me, you can chat, text, call. Let me know how I can help. Okay. Super excited to be doing what I'm doing, and just so much more to come about it. But this was too good to hold until I got to the finish line.
I appreciate you, Amy.
Yeah. Brenda, how did you feel about some of these?
I enjoyed it. I'm excited about trying them out tonight.
Good, good. Like I said, normally I do it at bedtime only because that's about the time I get to myself. But
I know.
it really does help with that relaxation, which is so important for thyroid.
Yeah.
Will you be sending this to us?
Be happy to send it to you guys. Yes.
Because I'm on my computer screen. So I was like, I just took a screenshot of it, but yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Otherwise,
email it to
I
y'all.
took a picture of it because I'm like, if I don't see this again, I'm not going to be able to contact
Yeah.
places.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, so
So
I'll go to your website too. Forgot.
awesome. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to stop the recording. And then if you guys have questions,